Hey guys, so now what we want to do is interact with our items in our menu, add specific entities in the scene, and receive a message corresponding to which item we interacted with. And if we use the correct item, then we will receive a positive feedback and the item will disappear from our menu. So let's see how we will do that. Okay, so first thing I need to do is to go to scripts, interactions, and create a new interaction. And this interaction will be called interaction item. So this is an interaction that I'm doing by using an item. I will go to my template and copy paste this code here. And extra things I need to do, I need to have is the inventory that I will be passing from my control. And that's it for now. And now what I want to do is take the active slot of my inventory. So I'm accessing the inventory and take the inventory container node, and then I'm taking the active slot. And to see which item I currently have, I'm going to say texture name equals active slot of item, get texture, get path, get file. And this will give me the name of the current active item in my inventory. So I will go also to my control here and create a new condition for item, and of course here in my interaction type I will call this item. And what I firstly need to do is just pass the inventory so that my interaction can use it and access it. Of course, what I do get here, the texture name, and I'm going to print it for debug purposes, is going to call something.png, and this is because I'm accessing the file in my resources. And I will do some things later in order to isolate those .png in the end, but for now it's okay. I will just now try to test this, and to do that I will go to my scene and duplicate this one, or rather this one, the random interaction node, and it has a sprite, it has an animation player, it has a position 2D, and this is all I need. I will take this from here to there, and I will put in the sprite the Godot puppet. Of course, this asset is available in the link below. You can use it as much as you like. And I will play with the scale, maybe around here. I want to have approximately the same scale as my player, so this is good. Put it somewhere here, and now I'm going to change my interaction type. So I'm going to go to my scripts, and this will be interaction item. And I want the player to be facing the right because my position will be around here. So when the player interacts, I want him to face to the right. And what else? Player interaction. This will going to be interact simple, the animation that will play, that my player will have when he's interacting will be interact simple. And now if I test this, I should be able to see with which item I'm currently interacting. And of course I need to put the columns here, because otherwise I will get a bug. And one more thing I want to do is go to my project settings, and because I've set this to full resolution, I'm going now to set the test width and height to 720p in order to be able to test my game and see the console, the output as well. And in order to not get things mixed up, I will go here to my stretch, set this to 2D and keep, and you will see now that if I play, I will get a smaller window and that my game looks okay even in this resolution. So right now I have one item, it's the storage key, and I will pick this one up too, and this is the icon, the Godot icon. And if I go here to my sprite, you will see that, of course, he reacts like that because I tell him to play this animation. Of course, I will change all this stuff. For now, don't play it. And let's go again. Take this up. This is my current item. I go here, and you see that it prints the icon to PNG. And if I click to this, then it prints my old storage key. So now I keep track of which item I am interacting with. So about that .png thing in the end, I don't really need to erase it, but I prefer not to have it. So I'm going to go here and replace this code with this one. And what I'm saying is just first see if the current active slot is null. So that means that maybe because I'm starting the game, I don't have a current item. So check this condition. And if I indeed have a current item, then okay, take the name, take the file path, and then remove the 4 last letters of the string, and then print the texture name. And all this will do is just, you will see, just remove the .png in the end. So I'm getting the icon. Good. So what I want to do now is having different message coming back to me when I'm interacting with an item, which depends on what item I'm interacting with. So I want to have different feedback for different items I'm interacting with, right? And of course, if I will have the correct item, I will get the positive feedback that this is the item that you need to interact with, and then it disappears from our menu. So in order to do that, first things first, I want to create a new script. And this script will be called items interaction descriptions. So ultimately this script will be a dictionary. I will paste this code here, and what I'm doing here is create a new dictionary, and for now I have one entry, and this entry is the Godot pipette. This is the entity that I'm interacting with an item, and then I have different messages for whichever item I'm interacting with. So yeah, if I am interacting with this item, that I get Kachimba, but if I'm interacting with the icon, which is the Godot logo here, then I get, you found it, my head replacement. And this is because he's kind of a Godot puppet, and he gives you the Godot head and kind of works like that. Okay, anyway. And then if I don't have an entry for the item that I'm interacting with, then I will give to the player a default message which will say this is not what I'm looking for. So because the player may have whatever item in the inventory, and maybe I don't want to cover every condition, then I just have a default message for the rest of the items that I haven't included specifically. Now, in order to access the specific entry in my dictionary every time, I need to go to my interaction item and a new variable which will be export, and it will be called interaction entry. This will be a string, and I will go now to my, let's call this Godot puppet, and go here and fill this one up. Make sure I write it just as I write it here, and then I want to access this script, the interaction descriptions, and this because it's a constant. I want to be able to access it globally, and to do that I will go to my project settings, to my add load, and then find a script here, It's here, and add it. And now it loads, and I can access it from here. And now I'm pasting this code here. And what I'm doing is create a variable for my interaction message, and then check for the texture name. This is, remember, this is the item that I interacted with, for example, the old storage key, and see if I can find it in my item interaction messages. This is the name of my dictionary, and this is the name of my entry. So I'm checking to find it, to find this key in my corresponsive entry in my dictionary. So I'm checking to find this key somewhere here, for example. And if I do find it, then I'm taking the message. I'm saying that the interaction message is the value of this key, the value of the texture name key, the value of the key which is named after my texture name. So this, if it's the old storage key, then it will be Kachimba. But if I don't find the texture name in my specific entry, so for example, if it's another item, let's say it's the crest or whatever, then I don't find it here, then okay, I'm taking the default message to print to my player. So if I don't find the item, then I'm taking this message. This is not what I'm looking for. And then I'm just printing the message. So let's see if this works. Actually, I'm going to put another item here. I'm going to duplicate the Godot icon item, and here I'm going to put, for example, the crest button. And of course, change the size and bring it around here. So this is an item that I can collect, and this is an item that I don't have an entry for it. So if I go here, yeah, let's change the Z index values to these ones. I think, yeah, this needs to go here, okay, and also this one. Okay, let's play again. So I'm picking this item up, I have it here. I'm picking this item up, I have it here. Let's try. So when I'm interacting with the Godot icon, I get it, you found it, my head replacement. This is, for example, the correct item. And when I interact with the crest, because, oh wait, I will interact with the old storage key first, and you see it prints Kachimba, which is the corresponsive message that I want to print. But this one, I don't have an entry for it, so it needs to print the default message, and this is not what I'm looking for. So you see that this system runs great, and all we need to do finally is to implement a GUI functionality for this. Actually, one more thing before I proceed to the GUI implementation is I want to have a positive feedback if the item that I interact with is the correct item or is not the correct item. So I went to my Godot puppet here in the sprite, and in the animation player actually, I implemented two interactions. This is for the correct animation, it goes like this, like he's happy, and this is for the wrong interaction, he's going like boing, like he's saying, oh no, this is not it. So I have these two animations for my Godot puppet, and I will go to my script now, and what I want to have is export var, which will be a string, and this will be my correct item, and this here is the name of the correct item, and it's just a string. So now that I know which one it is, I'm saying, you know what, if the texture name, remember, is the name of the item that I interacted with, is equal to the correct item, So in the specific case, if it is the icon, because this is how it is called, via Godot logo icon, then get node, get the sprite node and take the animation player and play the correct animation, and then remove this item from my inventory because it was the correct item, so I used it, so I remove it. But if it's not, then just play the wrong animation, the wrong interaction animation, and nothing else happens. And of course I print my message before. And this function here, the remove item, I need to implement it in my inventory container. So I'm going here, paste this one up, and I just iterate through all my slots, see which slot is active, and the active slot means that this is the item that I just used. So I'm saying edge slot, pick from slot. This is a function that I implemented before. I just remove the texture, and then active slot equals null, activate all slots. So when I'm using an item that I currently don't have another active item. So now if I hit play, you will see I will collect this, and I will use the storage key first, and you see he's playing the wrong interaction animation and nothing else happens. But if I use the icon, then he's happy and my icon disappears from my inventory. Now for the graphic implementation, just go real quick, create a new scene, change this to control node and call it interaction box message. Going to save this scene in my UI interaction box. And now I'm just gonna add the sprite. In my sprite here, this is a sprite that I imported. It's called interaction box, and in order to align it, I will bring it here, and I will add an animation player. That's for later, and I will need a VBox container, and I will show you why in a while. And in this box container I will put a rich text label, and now in my rich text label I will enable the BB code and add a font, a new dynamic font. I will use the same font that I was using for my info card, and that would be data fonts permanent marker. And now we'll go to my VBox container and put the borders to where my text I want to be. And now I want my text to be aligned horizontally and vertically, but in the BB code I can only do that horizontally but not vertically, because there is no functionality for doing that in the BB code yet. So if I write here something center and then some text and then again close it with center and check this, you will see that my text is aligned horizontally but not vertically. If I, for example, erase that, you will see that my text is not aligned. So the tags here help me to align the text horizontally, but in order to align it vertically I need to do some trick, and that is create two children in my VBox container, which will be two empty controls and control nodes, and one above the text and the other below the text. And in my controls, I will go to just size flags and click expand, and also here expand. And now you see that my text is aligned in the center. And if I were to write more text here, more text, and some more text, you will see that it's all aligned in center, both horizontally and vertically. And one last thing I want to do is just align, change this color to this value for my text. And finally, I'm going to add the tween for some interpolations I'm going to do with text animation. Now that I set my scene, I'm going to create a new script in my UI scripts and call it interaction box message. And now in my screen here, I'm going to paste this code. Now this code is very similar to my info card. So what I'm doing is, in the ready function, I'm clearing everything, and clearing means that I'm setting the visibility to false, I'm resetting the text, and also set the visibility of the text to false. And also I'm setting the color to transparent because I want to do some fade in and fade outs. And then when I want to toggle the box message, just as I did with my info card, I then firstly set the visibility of the text to false firstly, because I will then slowly bring it in with the tween, and the self visibility true, so I can see my box container, or rather my box message. Then I play this animation, which I will show you shortly, which is fade in, and when I want to hide it, then I just set the visibility to false and clear it. And now what I'm doing with these animations, I will show you now what these animations are. So these animations are simple fade ins and fade outs. You can set the time of fading as much as you like. I just set it for 0.4 seconds for fade in and 0.6 for fade out. You just go set a key for your modulate to from zero transparency to full opacity. And you have your fades, and now when the animation is finished, I'm taking the following conditions. So when I'm toggling to show, then it plays fade in. So when the fade ins ends the animation, then I'm setting text percent visible to 0, because I will slowly bring in with the tween, and the text visibility true, and then I interpolate that the percent visible of the text, just as I did with the info card, so the text is shown as it is writing in real time. And then I'm starting the tween, wait for 5 seconds here, and then I'm playing the fade out. And now we know that when the fade out is finished, then I hide my box container, my interaction box message. Now what I'm going to do is go to my control and find it in my scene, call it message, and it is a control, and it is under the UI, get node, and the name is interaction box message, and of course I need to actually bring it here. Here it is. I'm dropping there. And now that I have it, I need to pass it to my item interaction here. And of course, I need to have it as a variable here, like the inventory. And because, like I did with the info, you see that I want the position for my box container, my interaction box message. So I'm going to say that my box position is where this node 2D will be. And in order for this to work, I need to go to my Godot puppet and add a child, which will be a node2D, actually not node2D, but position2D, and will be called box position2D. And I want to be somewhere here, for example. So when I interact, the box message will show here. And now I just need to do this, which is very similar to what I did with my info card. I'm just taking the global position with canvas. So that means the position of this box position here, it's translated to canvas position, and then it's printed in the screen. So yeah, so here I'm setting the interaction box message, the actual control node here, the direct position to be the desired position that I want to be. And now in my interaction item, I will do this last thing here in the end, which is set the BB code text to what my interaction message is and put that center tags in order to align it horizontally and toggle the visibility of the interaction message. And I need to correct this, and of course what I forgot to do is actually add the script here, interaction box message script. I get nothing, and that is because I actually haven't connected the signal, because I copy-pasted the code. Now I connect the signal though, and I click play. Wait a second, I also need to change the position here, because this will be the upper left corner of my interaction box message, so I need to set it somewhere here maybe. So now if I hit play and collect all the items, you see now I will use my crest first. I will go here and go there, and this is not what I'm looking for. Nice, this is what we want him to say. Then I'm using the storage key, kachimba, nice, and then I'm using the correct item. You found it in my header placement, and everything works as they're supposed to do. So there you have it, and in inventory system where you can pick up items, reorder them in your inventory, use those items in specific interaction entities, and get a different kind of response, feedback for whichever item you use. And if you use the correct item, then you get the positive feedback and the item disappears from our inventory. Cool.